Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chloe, and on this channel we talk about astrology, numerology, and all things spiritual and metaphysical. So, Sagittarius. Sagittarius season begins November 22nd and ends December 21st. It's a mutable sign, so it's at the end of fall, transitioning into winter. So it's like the end of fall, beginning of winter, but not quite either or. It's the transition of. The symbol for Sagittarius is half man, half horse, which is a centaur. The symbol actually has a lot going on. It's a centaur aiming a bow and arrow upward, arching it, getting ready to just. It's such a cool symbol for many reasons, but one of the reasons being it is the only half animal, half human sign in the entire zodiac, making it very unique. The glyph for Sagittarius is an arrow aiming upwards, suggesting higher things, whether that be enlightenment, aiming towards things, setting goals, shooting for the stars, shooting in general. The arrow aiming upwards can suggest optimism and high ideals, high aspirations. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, meaning it is flexible, it's adaptable, it is not resistant to change, is very open to change and variety. Mutable signs are known for being skilled at many different things, and they're known for being on the not so brighter end of it, prone to being a little scattered. Sagittarius's element is fire. It is a fire sign, and fire signs are known for their exuberant life force. Fire is the energy of our spirit, of our soul, the raw energy within us. When we get angry, what is that? That is our fire. It is our driving force. So it being a mutable fire sign, like an example of what a mutable fire sign would be a wildfire. Sagittarius's connection is to an asteroid in our solar system called Chiron. Chiron in Greek mythology is a centaur, just like Sagittarius. In Greek mythology, centaurs are known for being rebellious, rambunctious, kind of wild, free-spirited, kind of like, I don't want to say nasty, but it's kind of like how you see on TV, like the Viking style people with the long beards. Like, this is the energy I get from it, is that they're like drinking, they're getting drunk all the time, and they're just like allowing it to like spill out all over their beard. That's how I picture the actual centaurs in Greek mythology. Very animalistic and wild, and they like to fight and they like to drink a lot, and so they're very wild creatures. But Chiron was different. He wasn't a centaur that did those things or indulged in those things. He was a centaur that was immortal. He was part god. He was a friend to both men and God. He was Saturn's, or Kronos' son, and a renowned healer and teacher. Many people came to him to learn from him and to be healed by him. He practiced medicine and was skilled at music and many other things. Well, one day Chiron was struck with an arrow, a poisoned arrow, shot by Hercules on accident. And because Chiron could not die, he was in eternal agony from this poisoned arrow. The god Jupiter, also known as Zeus, allowed Chiron to actually die in honor of Chiron's life choices. Jupiter sent Chiron into the heavens as the constellation of Sagittarius. So Sagittarius has this connection to Chiron. Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is the biggest planet in our solar system. Jupiter can literally hold all of our planets in itself, in this one big gaseous planet. It's associated with abundance, expansion, growth, which I think is super cool because before we even knew, like in our history, before we even knew that Jupiter was the biggest planet in our solar system, we already understood that it ruled over expansion and abundance. Jupiter is the planet of good luck, good fortune, optimism, success, and generosity. It's considered a benevolent planet in astrology, meaning it holds great rewards during its transits. And wherever it's placed in your chart can show you where you're luckiest in life and where you are going to experience the most growth in your life. The position of Jupiter in your birth chart can show where fortunate opportunities lie in store for you. And fun fact, a large number of the people who share the same zodiac sun sign as your Jupiter sign will have great connection and rapport with you. So for instance, let's say my Jupiter is in Gemini and your Gemini sun. That means, depending on other factors in the chart, of course, it just means that we could learn a lot from each other and we could also benefit a lot from each other and connect. I don't want to say like on a deep, deep level, but it has the potential to be that way. It's just good connections, good energy going on between someone who shares the same Jupiter and the same sun sign. Sagittarius is the 9th zodiac sign, and in my opinion, resonant with 5 energy in numerology. Sagittarius's natural house is the 9th house because it is the 9th sign. Now, your 9th house may not be Sagittarius, therefore Sagittarius may not rule your house. However, the 9th house is still associated with Sagittarian energy. The 9th house represents higher learning and studying, like college, long-term mental exploration. Like, you might not be in college, but let's say you're a student of astrology and you are learning on your own and you read books, so many books, and you take note and you practice. That is higher learning in itself. You may not go to college, but you spend long amounts of time studying and practicing, trying to turn these facts into wisdom or knowledge. And that is what the 9th house is. It is the house of wisdom, the house of knowledge. It can also be seen as the house of long distance travel, governing air travel specifically, whereas the 3rd house, the opposite house of the 9th house, is short distant travels, like in your car here, there. The 9th house can also represent culture and or religion. The body parts ruled by Sagittarius are the hips, the thighs, and the liver, which is why it's important not to be like the drunken centaurs in Greek mythology. Be wary of the things that you indulge in, because Jupiter is also your planetary ruler, and Jupiter is the planet of excess. And so Sagittarian people have a tendency to indulge a little too much. The challenges of being a Sagittarius or having Sagittarian energy in your top 5, having a lot of Sagittarian energy, Sagittarius energy in general. Let's get into it. Sagittariuses, they're known for their optimism, but at times they can be blindly optimistic, not so much realistic. They can tend to see what they want to see, which is usually the good, the hopefulness. And yes, it can be a good thing, but it also can be quite a challenge for them. Let's say someone's on their deathbed, but the Sagittarius's hopeful, optimistic nature, they can't believe it. They are like, they can't die, they're not going to die. And then so they'll tell themselves these stories, and then that person dies and they're like, wow, I really thought they weren't going to die. Another challenge for Sagittarius is that they can be prone to restlessness because of the mutable energy that they have, and also being a fire sign, like that wildfire energy. It's just kind of all over the place and it doesn't know when to stop. Sometimes it could be like physically but also mentally as well, because Sagittarius may have so many different ideas, but they lack the follow through or the organization, the structure that's needed in order to go through with the ideas that they have. And so they can be a little bit scattered and restless. They can become very drained energetically if they are not structuring or organizing their thoughts and actions. They have a tendency to always be looking for the next best thing, the next high, right? The grass is always greener on the other side for Sagittarians. They always want to know more, see more. That is Sagittarius. They are always looking for the next adventure. Because of that, they can have a fear of commitment, a fear of staying in one place for too long. They may run at any chance that they get, or any time that something doesn't feel right to them, because they have the nature of like, I want to have fun, I want to feel good, I want to feel free. And so commitment can be quite scary for them. They may even tend to shy away from heavy emotion, not wanting to feel any dark side of life. They have a tendency to even run away from it. Anything that's heavy, anything that's too emotional. Sagittarius tends to have a little bit of a rebellious streak. They tend to only answer to themselves, and they want to make their own rules for their own life. And so if anyone tries to tell them how to be, what to do in relationships, they may struggle with this, especially because they don't want to live by anyone else. They have a need to create their own life, and so they just may struggle when it comes to taking advice or answers from other people unless they're willing and want to. Unlike the fixed energy in the zodiac, like I said earlier and multiple times already, Sagittarius is a mutable sign, and so they can lack that follow through or staying power. They get bored quite easily. They need variety and they need change in order to feel fulfilled. And so they may not be able to commit to plans or goals that they set for themselves. It's just a challenge for them to stay focused and to stay put and follow through on their promises. And the last challenge I'll go over is that they can be quite outspoken. And while that can be a good thing in many ways, a lot of times Sagittarians tend to say things without thinking about it. They just say it regardless of how it's going to make another person feel. They have no filter. They frankly don't care about how they affect anyone, because truth matters the most to them. So if it's true for them, they're going to say it because they're like, hey, it's the truth. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Sagittarius can be quite tactless when it comes to speaking. But with all of the challenges that I've discussed so far, they also have a bright side to them. So let's get into the strengths of being a Sagittarius, having Sagittarius energy. So first and foremost, being ruled by the luckiest planet, the planet of luck in astrology, they can be some of the luckiest people. They just happen to be at the right place at the right time with the right people. Some say they're blessed by the gods, and I believe it. I mean, I've seen it in an abundance of ways. They exude this optimism. They can turn the worst possible thing ever into a good experience or a learning experience. And let's say life does get them down. They won't be down for long. They pick themselves up quite fast. They're always sure that good is coming. They know it. They know it in their spirit, in their heart. They are lucky because they are so optimistic. But they are so optimistic, and therefore they are lucky. It goes like both ways. They just have this very positive outlook on life and on everything. And so they attract these good things to them because of that. Sagittariuses are fiercely independent. They love learning things on their own. And Sagittarius literally symbolizes wisdom. It's the sign of the philosopher and the explorer. They can be quite insightful people. Back to being independent. I actually know this woman who changes her own oil, and she's a Sagittarius. Can do anything that they set their mind to, truly. It's like that arrow aiming towards something. Whatever they aim for, all they have to do is aim and shoot and follow through, and they can do it. I'm not going to say that they don't accept help from other people, because they will, but they often, more often than not, like to do it themselves. They enjoy the learning experience that they gain through doing things themselves, and they like to know about things, often a wide variety of things. Sagittariuses are very skilled at movement. They are skilled at shifting, whether it be physically or mentally. They're skilled at shifting to brighter or higher places, shifting their energy. They can change their spirit, mutable fire, the change of spirit. Like if something bad happens, yeah, they might be upset about it, but they can shift. If like an uncomfortable conversation is going on, they can just shift. They're really good at shifting and moving things, moving the energy, because fire is energy. So this is the sign that is really skilled at moving energy. Working out is important for them to shift their energy through exercise. Sagittarius makes the nicest friends in the zodiac. Everybody loves Sagittarius energy. They're so open-minded. They're so kind, honest, happy-go-lucky. They're just a joy for people in people's lives. They have a great sense of humor and are often very comical. If I'm not mistaken, Kevin Hart is a Sagittarius, and he's also a life path 3. He's very like goofy, silly. He's very comical. And Sagittarius can be that very comical sign. These people are true born entertainers, and they make the best storytellers. They're literally the life of the party. Like I have this one friend who's a Sagittarius, and I had a party and she came over and won everyone over. Like she's telling stories back to back to back. Everyone's got making eye contact with her, listening deeply. Everyone is so interested in what she's saying, and she's just shining at the party. Like she's getting everyone feeling good and having fun, knows how to have fun and let loose and get people feeling good. And so they can be just some of the most nicest friends. They also understand the need to shape one's own life. They naturally accept others for who they are, not wanting them to change. They're not controlling, jealous, or possessive by any means. They are very open and accepting of people. Sagittarius has a wide range of interests, more often than not. They have many hobbies and enough energy to do everything that they love in one day. And they love a lot. Like that says a lot. They have a lot of energy. And that's just because they have this need to move up and move on. Sagittariuses can also be deeply spiritual. They may or may not be religious. I'm not going to get into that. But regardless if they're religious or not, they tend to be deeply spiritual. They have a trust in a higher power, and they trust in themselves. They trust in their higher self, in their self, and in higher power. More often than not, they're very spiritual and have a deep spiritual connection to whatever they deem as God, like the universe, God, whatever it is for them. They feel deeply connected to it more often than not. They are some of the most honest, blunt, and straightforward people you will ever meet. They are very candid in speech, and there's really no reading between the words that they say, because they typically say what they mean and mean what they say. They don't sugarcoat things. They're very blunt, straightforward. They can be highly opinionated and very, very open about it. They don't shy away from speaking the truth. They have a deep desire to tell the truth. Truth is very important to them. They are the seekers of knowledge in the zodiac. They are the seekers of wisdom, the seekers of truth. They want to know the truth, and they want to reveal it, and they will, in disregard for your feelings. The last strength I want to talk about is how newness appeals to the Sagittarius energy very much. They need to be learning and they need to be doing things that they haven't done before. They need to be experiencing life in its fullest. They need to be going after the things that they want and meeting all people from all walks of life. Newness appeals to them, so it's very important for them to foster the connection with variety and newness. They are not the type of people to shy away from the things that are foreign to them. Sagittarius is the sign of foreign. The word foreign, it is I hope I'm making sense. It's the sign of foreign things, culture, and things that you're not familiar with. And so there's that need to explore, and they have that deep desire to do so. That concludes my video on Sagittarius energy. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me, and I would love to hear from you. If you could just please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you liked about this video.